Okay, let's go. I've been doing the program for about 2 years. In December, so 2 years, 3 months, I have about 32 accounts. And if you guys don't know any of my story, I am known as your guys' like resident introvert. So if you know John Sarabia, I remember when we first started having conversations at the beginning. Now we're friends, and he was like, "Girl, I." She's like, "Jackie, I didn't think you were gonna make it." He's like, "I just didn't think you were gonna make it because I was so introverted and I didn't come from sales and I had no idea any of this." So I'm sure that there's a couple of you guys on here that have no sales experience. This is all new to you. And if this is you guys, will you like throw a thumbs up or throw a comment or throw that's me where you didn't come from sales, you have no experience in this. Merchant services is just like a whole new world. Yes. And that's how it was for me. So I started I'm an actor and I've been doing that for about 25 years and I work for my family's restaurant. So I do the bookkeeping work. So all of that is by myself because I work from home and I do the bookkeeping and auditioning and all that is also very much by myself. So my whole little bubble of my world was just me as an introvert and everything that I learned from sales. Um, was just me going out there and getting beat up. So, I wanna share that experience with you guys because, um, it's if I can do I know I hate when people say, like, "If I can do it, you can do it." But, honestly, if I can do this, and if you're also an introvert or if you have no experience, if you have experience, 15 years in sales, then I don't even know why you're here. No, just kidding. Oh, yes, Gloria's is my family's restaurant, 45 years. Um, so if I can do this and, I feel like anybody can do this as long as you don't quit and give up on yourself. So, what we're gonna try to do a little something different today. We're gonna go through the lesson real quick. I don't wanna waste a lot of your guys' time, but I want it to be informative, and if at some point, I'm gonna ask if anybody wants to, what is it? Do a what like, role play. Prospecting. So get ready for that if you are nervous about it. Maybe start like amping yourself up about that because I am going to take a very courageous volunteer, and especially if you don't have experience in sales. Okay, so Alex, if that's you're the one that has 15 years experience, maybe don't do the or maybe do the role play so that people can see how it's done. But so yeah, we're going to talk about how to start a convo going into a new business that you don't know anybody and you're just pounding the pavement. We're going to talk about asking questions, listening, and how confidence is key when you just don't know what you're doing to start. We we were all there. So um, and after every section, I'm gonna ask if you guys have any questions. So like write them down or just keep them in your brain. So what I learned from prospecting, because this is something that I had never done before. And so I knew, okay, I'm not good at sales. I don't know how to sell anything, but I am kind and I can walk in with a smile. So I was just like, okay, let me use my things that I have that are like what is things that I have going for me as like to make up for what I don't know, which is sales. And just as a little background as well, I had been in the program like 6 months and was doing a lot of like busy work. I was telling myself that I was working, I was telling myself that I was doing things to grow the business. But then when I would have my calls with like Paul or John, they'd be like, okay, how many businesses are you visiting? And I would just be like, zero. But my logo is cute. My brand colors are great. Like I'm killing it. But it was the fear that was keeping me from going out. So as I started to go out, I was wearing like my cash swipe shirt, which it was merchant automation at the time. And I was walking in with my flyers and it just was not working for me. So this is very important. I'm going to say this a couple of times is you have to find what works for you. If you're in sales and you're confident and you know how to strike up a conversation with the person there and the owner and everybody, then you know what? By all means, freaking go for it. Like if that works for you, go for it. But for me, I felt that it was a huge like barrier because the minute I walked in, if they saw that I was a salesperson, I would see their like reaction and that would just paralyze me to where I'd be like, I just want to walk out of here. But then that was even more awkward. So as time went on, what worked for me is just, having a professional look on. I had like a little fanny pack. I would walk in with my flyers folded up in my fanny pack. And I learned that going in and having good energy. And I would go in and I would introduce myself as a local merchant agent. Like, because I would go in like, hi, I'm in merchant services and my name is Jackie and this is what I do. And would you be interested? And people were just like, yeah, no, like we're not interested. So as time went on, like a year later of like bumps and bruises and being beaten up, I was like, oh, I just need to walk in like casually with a smile and with good vibe and a good energy, because you walk in and you're smiling and you're saying hello. They don't know if you're a customer. It's like, well, salespeople aren't really like this kind. So like what's happening? You kind of throw them off. And I would just walk in and be like, hi, my name is Jackie. I live in the area. I'm visiting businesses today and I just want to introduce myself. This is what I do. And that at the beginning was probably as much information as I could give because it was just so hard for me to stay there for too long because also we're beginners and we don't like we're barely getting used to getting these words out. So for me at the beginning, it was super helpful to just go in, introduce myself, drop off a flyer. I don't even think I would say, like, are you interested? I would just be like, thank you very much. Here's my flyer. Like, goodbye, Um, and then so that is one thing that I have learned. Even if you are a salesperson and you're freaking great at it, like good vibe. And if you're great at it, you probably already know you go in with a good vibe, a good smile. You're not going in trying to sell somebody anything. So that was huge for me. Second was introducing myself because I would forget to say who I am. I would point at the machine and just be like, "This is what I do." And I would walk out and I would just be like, "What in the heck did I just do? What did I just say?" None of that made sense. And a lot of times I would just get in my car and drive away and I'd be like, "This sucks. I don't know why I'm doing this." But you know, you dust yourself off, you get up, you do it again. I kept practicing that. So I would go in, I would reassess, like I would come out of there and I'd be like, what did I do wrong there? Like what sucked? What do I need to fix? Find the weaknesses either in my intro or in my outro. Like I would just find where I needed to, just tweak it a little for me. Rinse and repeat, and get the no's and learn how to get the no's because the no's suck. So, you come out and you get 5 no's in one day, you're just like, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? But that honestly just sounds like a regular day of prospecting. Like it just is what it is. You're going to get, for me, I maybe have to visit like 10 to 12 businesses to get one that's like, oh yeah, like I'm looking for somebody or tell me more. But so you just have to keep going because you got to get to the 10 to 12 to get the one. And then as you start getting better, that those 10 now it could turn into like 8 or 7, so yeah, so introduce yourself and practice this. Like what is going to work for you? You might go in the first couple of times and be like, yeah, that did not work. So just what's been very helpful is also if you're a member of any of the Chamber of Commerce in your neighborhood, I walk in and I say, hi, my name is Jackie. I'm a member of the Chamber of Commerce. I was just at a meeting. So I'm just visiting the businesses in the area to see if they need any help, And that also was very helpful because the minute I said, like I'm a member of the Chamber of Commerce, like I was like, "Oh," one lady was even like, "Oh, mija, the jefe is here. Do you wanna talk to him?" And I'm like, "Yes, I wanna talk to the jefe," Of course, that's like all of our dream that the guy's there and he's willing to talk to you, you know? We have to let them know why we're there. They're business owners, they're busy, or there's, the cashier is there. It's not their business. They don't want you to take up 10 minutes of their time explaining to them about the POS system when they're like, "Yo, I don't even care. Like, I'm just trying to serve a coffee. Like, just get out of my way," you know? So it's clear, concise. You walk in, "Hey, this is what I do. I'm in the neighborhood. Are you the owner?" "No, I'm not. I just work here." "Great. When's a better time to come back? When the owner's here? I would love to talk to them." And sometimes I'll be like, "Yeah, I don't know. They're just in and out." And be like, "Okay, great. Like, maybe I'll come back in a week or two. Maybe I'll catch them." If you go back the second time, it's like, you remember the person's name or you recognize them, like, "Hey, Mary, like, I was here 2 weeks ago. I was just, looking for the boss." If you find out the boss's name, we do some, like, Google searching. We do some, stalking on Google. We find out their name, be like, "Hey, is Jose here today? I wanna talk to him," or whatever the case is. So, clear, concise, and know when you don't wanna take up too much of their time. If it's the business owner that you caught and they're busy, "Hey, when's a better time to come back? Like, I see you're busy. I don't wanna take up a lot of your time." And you just have to learn to, like, read the room, Like, you don't want to take up a lot of their time if there's 3 customers standing behind you, because then you're just gonna piss them off, and they're not gonna want you back in their store. So, does anybody have questions on this little section? Like, walking in, introducing yourself, your pitch, anything like that, before we move on? And you can write it in the chat. Oh, sweet. Recording your videos for your done for you ads? I get a flat out. Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I get that all the time. A flat out, like, what is it? A auto repair shop. I was like, "Yeah, let me see your statement. Let me see what I can do." And then it's just like, "Well, just give me your rate." Like, don't you don't wanna if I'm at 5, you're gonna just charge me 4, like, give me your best rate. And what I say is, that's not how I work. I don't look to see what your rate is based on just what you're selling, like, what you're making and what your fees are. I can give you a better rate. If I see the statement, I can give you a better rate depending on what type of credit cards you process. So I'm like, "Yeah, if you don't wanna pass the fee, I can give you a better rate. I just need to see your statement so that I can give you the lowest rate depending on the credit cards you process. If you process a lot of American Express, I can't lower it. But if you do 80%, Visa or Mastercard, like the bank card debits, not PIN code, but the bank cards, those are a lot cheaper to process. So then I can lower your rate more, you know? And a lot of times they're like, "Oh, I didn't know that." And I've had, people tell me or merchants tell me, "What if I don't accept American Express?" And I'm like, "Great. If you don't accept American Express, let me look at that statement and we can actually really lower it." Like, do we wanna go super low, guys? Like, no, because that digs into our, residuals, to be honest, Like, best case scenario, 4%, you make your money, and all is great in the world. But a lot of times, and there's some people that don't do anything else other than cash discount. If you don't want cash discount, they're just like, "Okay, well, I'll come back when you decide." And I'm just like, "I'm gonna sign you up. I'm gonna give you the best rate." Because I want, as a beginner, and even like now, if it's a good account, I have a auto repair shop that processes about $90,000, and his rate is super low, but I'm like, I'd rather get the $200. I could, if he had 4%, guys, I'd be making like $1,300 off that guy. But I'd rather get the $300 or the $200 than get nothing. So that's one of the, um Dorian, that's one of the things I use. It's like, yeah, no, I don't wanna see how much you process or anything. What's very helpful for me is what type of credit cards you process. And then they might still see like, "Yeah, no," and then just be like, "Okay, bye." Like, I don't know what to tell you. Safely, without seeing a statement, we can always say 3%. And yeah, 3% is where they're usually, the office is like, "Yes, we could do 3% without seeing a statement, and then we could reassess next month to make sure nobody's, like, losing any money." So yeah, all right, let's go to the next one, guys. Um, Asking questions and listening. So as we're going in, we have to kinda take out of our minds that we are going, honestly, to sign them up. Like, I think I've had mm, 2 out of the 32 that are like, "Yes, like, what do you need from me?" Which totally caught me off guard, and I was totally caught me off guard. But, um, so we have to get out of our minds that we have to sign them up today. Like, this is a long game. A lot of people, they don't know who we are. We're asking them for their statements. This is their business. This is their money. And this rando comes in and is like, "Yeah, let me see your statement." So it takes time, and we're not, as I go in the very first time, I honestly want to create a conversation and maybe get like a meeting to come back and talk to them, you know? If I get lucky, like, one day I walked into a coffee shop and I had Googled like, who owns this coffee shop? And I walked in and the lady was in the patio. So, and I knew her name because I looked it up, and I was just like, "Hey, are you Melanie?" And it was like, "Yeah," like, whatever. So we started talking. "This is what I do. I'm a member of the Chamber of Commerce, blah, blah, blah." So she walked me into the coffee shop and was like, "Yes, this is what I use, you know? This is what I'm currently using. I'm using Square. This is what I do." And I was like, "Okay." And then we go into the questions of, what do you like about it? What don't you like about it? You know, and a lot of times it's like, "Well, it's fine, but just like the fees. I hate paying the fees." I'm like, "Okay, great. You're using a Square. So let's just put you into a Clover because the interface is similar, you know? And we can eliminate your fees. And, you know, do you need payroll? Do you need this? Uh, Inventory?" And she's like, "No, I don't use any of that." So it's like, "Okay, great." Square to Clover, and that's usually just where I go, especially as beginners. And I'll talk about that right now. So you're trying to ask questions to get to know them, to get to know how their business works, to see, and for us to not go in. And if you guys have ever been in Michael Santi's trainings, like, insane. This dude's freaking legit. Um, he's like, "We're not sales agents. We're profit saving agents." And at first I was like, "Well, I'm not gonna say I'm a profit saving agent because that's a tongue twister." And that's just kind of weird. But when you go in with the mentality and the mindset of like, "Hey, what are you doing here? And let me see how I can help you. Let me advise you." They get a different vibe from you. You're not just like, "Hi, yeah, I can do a POS system too, and it's going to cost you this much, and it's going to save you this much." It's just like you're having a convo of, "Okay, yeah, no, I see what you're doing here. What do you need? How are you using this? Like, do you like that process? Yeah, I love it. Do you need the POS, or can you just tap a card and that would save you a lot more money?" You know? So we're asking questions, we're getting to know them, we're letting them, like, we have to gain their trust a little bit, you know? And you walk through the process with them. And it's like, and then again, are they looking for anything in particular? Do they need inventory, payroll, text, email receipts? And then that's when, as a beginner, you have to kind of know a little bit about equipment. Don't let equipment overwhelm you and keep you from going out into the field, because I know that feeling. Because when you go onto the Paybotics website and you see like 15 different POS systems, you're just like, "Yeah, this is too much. I have to memorize all of this, or I have to carry a notebook to show them." You don't. You don't have to do any of that. And we'll talk about that in the next slide. But does anybody have questions about this? Mm-mm-mm. Before we move on. Yay. Yay, Victor, my buddy. We'll see you in LA, Vic. You better say yes. Actually, who's coming to LA for the um event in May? Anybody here? Give me a thumbs up if you are, because I would love to meet you guys. These events, I love it. These events are so awesome because, you know, we see each other on Zoom and we see each other on the trainings and we're talking on school or whatever. But then, yeah, Paul said if I close by then. Okay, you got this, Ryan. Um, it's just such a cool vibe, and then you realize, like, man, everybody's so cool, and I get to be a part of this huge network. And I always tell even, like, Vic and Nadia, one of the coaches, I'm like, "How do we get so lucky that this is such a rad group of people that we just wanna help each other and, like, cheer each other on?" And it's just such a cool vibe, and then to meet Paul in person and you're just like, dude, like, I didn't know you were so tall. This is crazy. But if you guys can make it out, that would be awesome. Ryan, you got this. How many accounts do you have? So already, do you have any accounts yet? Paul gave me 2 challenges. Oh, okay. Well, wash it off, cry, be sad for a little bit, and then keep going. I know that feeling when applications get declined. It's very sad. Um, but one Tuesday, one Thursday. Ugh. Okay, so just I had a challenge as well right before Miami. Paul was like, "You need to do 15 accounts in 90 days," and I did it. Blood, sweat, and tears, and I did it. So I have faith in you. I believe you can do it. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Um, oh, I didn't talk about it. Let's go back. Um, equipment. Let me just go back to equipment before again real quick, because as beginners, like I was saying, we get stuck on wanting to know all of this. But to be honest, you guys, at the beginning as beginners, until you get the hang of it, um, you're looking at Valor for terminals, or like the Deja Vu and Clover. Don't worry about anything else. As a beginner, I wouldn't even go into like I wouldn't go into a restaurant that has like 3 POS systems with like the screens in the kitchen and multiple printers and all of this stuff, because it's just too overwhelming as a beginner. As a beginner, we want to learn how to fill out the applications without messing up, which I did many times because I would do standard merchant agreements for Clovers, and those are two different applications, so I'd have to go back. So as a beginner, we want to learn how to fill out the applications confidently. We want to learn how to be able to place an equipment order with giving the correct information on the side, like, is it traditional processing, is it cash discount? And we want to be able, if you're in the same area as the business, you want to be able you want to learn how to install that and be in the business as people are like either checking out, or they want to pay, and you fix, putting the terminal together and all of this. Because that, if you just try to jump in to a bigger one with no experience, it's going to be hard. Granted, if you have one on deck and this guy is like, somebody's ready to go and it's a big one and you want to get it, then that's when you reach out to the coaches and Paybotics, and then everybody will just be like, yes, we're going to help you get this account, because it's happened. I've seen it. So just go on to the equipment website, which I posted right here on my slide, and just scroll through it and just stick to Valor. The Valor, there's the one that you plug into the wall, there's wireless, and then there's Clover, and look at the Deja Vu. And on Clover, look through the fees. Like, okay, if it's a restaurant, it would be this much software fee. If it's so, just familiarize yourself with that to begin with. Do not overwhelm yourself. Do not let that keep you from going out and prospecting. So if I walk in and I see a simple terminal on the counter, I'm offering a simple terminal. I'm just like, okay, they have whatever, those Ingenico black and gray ones. I usually ask, like, do you want do you want a wireless, or do you mind if it's plugged into the wall? And they're like, oh, I don't care if you plug it into the wall. And I'm like, great, because I can get you that one for free. And if it's a Square or Toast, we usually go to Clover, because on Square or Toast, you do the menu, and you do all the things that most of the things that Square can do. It's not exactly the same. Square, what they do it very well, but you pay a premium for it, and a lot of people don't want to pay that premium anymore, and that's why we're there to transfer them out of that. So does anybody have any questions on that, on equipment, on hardware, on what to offer, anything like that? Mm-mm. Give me a thumbs up if you guys are still with me here. When installing the equipment for the first time, is there someone that's going to walk you through it? No. So, yes. Hot tip: do your installs Monday through Friday. because Paybotics is closed Saturday and Sunday, and I learned that the hard way, installing a Clover Duo without tech support. So I had to come back because Clover Duo is a little bit more complicated. So if you know that you have a big install or it's something that you're going to need help with, try to find out like the simple terminals. Take it out at home, connect it to Wi-Fi if it's getting delivered to you, connect it to Wi-Fi at home so you kinda know how it works, or watch a video, and familiarize yourself like that way. But if you have an install and you're a little nervous, message the office and be like, "Hey, I have, an install tomorrow. If I have any questions, would somebody be available?" And usually somebody's kinda like, "Yeah," like, "Marcos will be here," or "Joey's here tomorrow," or so just kinda let them know. But can I be honest? If you're just installing a regular Valor simple terminal or like a Deja Vu, we should be able to do that because that's a simple settings, Wi-Fi, configure, and set it up and watch a couple of videos. But if there's sometimes you're going through it, a merchant receipt prints and they're like, "Oh, I don't want that receipt." Okay, great, I'll take care of that. You email the office and they turn that off and everything. So yes, you do get support and somebody to walk you through it if it's like, if you kinda let them know ahead of time, or if it's a big install, then let them know for sure, like, "I'm going to need help," and then somebody will help walk you through it. But simple terminals, guys, I think Googling a video and not taking up the office time would be amazing. It's super simple. We all do Wi-Fi. Um, you can always change things around, right? Like adding on tax or yes, yes. Pretty much anything. If like somebody has a 4% and they're like, can I switch it? I'll pay 3%, customer pays 1 or vice versa. That can be changed. Tax added or taken off, that can be changed. Custom tips, yes. All of that, you just have to send an email to the office. Or if you're at the merchant at the time, try to call in, and a lot of times they will be able to take your call, but yes, all of that can be changed. If it's a bank change where they're like, "I want my deposits to go to a different bank," that's gonna take a couple of days. Clover takes about a month, and Valor takes about a week, so we're gonna need a bank change form, and we're gonna need a check, and we're so that's more of a process. So if somebody asks you that, don't say like, "Yeah, right away, I can do that tomorrow," because that does take time. As a beginner, what kind of businesses would you go after? Because like you said, it gets overwhelming looking at different yes. Um, First of all, I would say it's our local what I like to call my local 10. So it's like, people that already know you, people where you go visit, like your coffee shop, barbershop, if you have a pet groomer, ladies, if you go get your nails done, if you go get your hair done, guys, the barbershops, your accountant. Accountants just tap a card, they don't have like a whole thing. Um, uh, what else? What else? Pet groomers. What else do I have? Coffee shops, restaurants, like smaller restaurants at the beginning, they don't have, um, like smaller mom and pops don't have like huge setups. So that's what I would go after at the beginning. And people that you already know, people that are in your circle, coffee shops you already go to, and you just start talking about it like, "Oh yeah, like I'm in favorite taco truck." That's right, Vic has the taco truck, taco trucks lined up and, yeah, your favorite little spot, your hole in the wall, the restaurant, the cleaners, little, shops like that that are in your area. I have a flower shop. What else? Yeah, all of those little ones, those are the ones to go for at the beginning. People that you already that know you, that kind of have seen you in their space, those are the ones I feel like at the beginning to go after. And don't be afraid of the smaller accounts as a beginner as well. I would say just don't go try not to go under the $5,000 mark because then the merchant will get charged a $30 fee. Or we get charged actually. I think we get charged. So try not to go under $5,000. At the beginning, I was just going after like, you're a pop-up and you pop up 3 times a week, 3 times a month. Like, great, I need an account, so I'll do it. And then as time went on, I was like, dang it, I'm losing money on this. So how do I go back? So I know we want accounts, but don't be desperate. and just sign up anybody because it's gonna bite you in the butt after, and I have a couple accounts that I am in the red in that I need to go back and be like, "Hi, we need to reassess this because it's not working out." Should the should be the minimum volume of business should be at to sign them up. Oh, yeah, $5,000, probably. $5,000, you'll probably you make about it should be 1%, like $50, so you'll probably make about 20 bucks, um, because there's, the small fees that we cover, that's how the merchant is gets to eliminate all of their fees. So, yeah, I would stick to, I have one that's, like, does, like, $3,000, and I literally make, like, $3 off of it, guys. So, try to keep it, like, 5,000 and up. Um, alright, and let's go on to the
Jackie, sorry, I have a question.
oh,
When you're on the Paybotics website, and for example, I'm looking at Clover right now, I'm looking at like the software type, and it has like the different kinds of payment options, like essential, retail growth, services growth, restaurant growth. Do you know what like? Could you touch up a little bit more on like what each services offers to like, for example, a restaurant?
mhm. Yeah, if a restaurant needs, like, all the menus set up and modifiers and everything, and they need a table map, that's usually the $89 one. So, if you Google them or go onto Clover's website, it'll tell you side by side, this one is this, this is that. If, I have somebody on Clover that does not need anything on the Clover. They don't need a menu, they don't need anything. They don't have to pay their fee is like $29. They don't have to pay the software fee. That's why I try if a business is simple, I try not to put them on a Clover because they have a software fee. So it just depends what type of business. Do they need a menu? If they start needing menus and other options from the App Store, then they're gonna pay the higher, like the 39, I believe it's something like that.
Got it.
Yeah, yeah, so but look it up because that is, I've misquoted, but if it's a big restaurant, it's usually the $89 one, which don't be afraid to tell restaurant owners that there is a software fee because a lot of times you're eliminating, all of their processing fees. So just be like, yeah, we're eliminating all your processing fees. The only thing you're going to pay is the 89.99 plus the $10 for the cash discount app if you want to pay that, however. But yeah, don't be afraid, yeah, to tell them there's going to be a software fee. Don't be like, oh, I don't want to tell them because then they're going to say no. I've never had that happen. So as long as you're confident in it, yeah, it should be fine.
Got it.
I have a client who wants to switch from Clover to Square. How can I be prepared tomorrow to provide him the right information and why he would switch? I mean, it's I don't say it's like it's going to be the same thing. So you ask them, I guess first make sure what they like from Square. If it's just like, oh, it's just user friendly and there's nothing really like amazing about it that they like, just be like, okay, great. We can put you into a Clover, which does like the same thing. It has like the same kind of interface look. Um, but yeah, I'm just like, I would go into the Clover like website and just kind of look around at what they have. Like if they have a whole Square POS system, just be like, "Do you need all of that? Like, do you want a handheld Clover that, takes up less space on the counter? Or do you want the Clover Mini that swivels? We can get you a swivel and that's like smaller and compact." If it's a business that doesn't process a lot and they have a Duo, the one with the screen in the front, I would just be like, I mean, if they really want it and wanna pay for it, great, but I would try to be like, "Well, you might not need all of that setup, you might be able to do a mini or a Clover Flex." So it's not really you're not really trying to, like, sell the Clover, you're trying to sell what not sell, but, like, try to offer them what works best for them, like, what type of Clover would work best for them. But, other than that, go on to the Paybotics website where Alex was at and look at the fees on the side of the Clover, and look at how much the Clover Flex is, look at the fees, and, like, watch a couple of videos and go on the Clover website, to be honest, and I feel like you should do pretty good, and if you have specific questions, jump on the school, like, community and, like, hey, I'm confused about this. And then one of the coaches can jump on and like make sure that you get your answers for tomorrow. Let's see, guys. Last slide. Um, And I know that at the beginning, like as a beginner, one of the biggest things is confidence, except if you are in sales and this you've been doing this for a very long time. But also, if you've never done merchant services, there's also a part of you that isn't going to be confident because you don't have all the information. And 2 years later, I still don't have all of the information. So don't let that stop you, but do it says I have unanswered questions. Okay, no. Um, but do know the basics. Know that you that we offer cash discount the way it works. Know that we can offer traditional, but we need to see a statement if that's the case. What else? Know like, okay, this is like if they have a simple terminal, we're doing Valor. If they have a Square or Toast, we're probably going to Clover. Because when you start getting into like CBD shops, vape shops, liquor stores, all of that, a Clover can't be used for high risk, and a lot of times liquor stores don't use Clover. They need a different setup. So, but that's like when you get the ball rolling and you're like getting bigger accounts, then we could talk about that. But right now, we just want to focus on you guys starting to get your first couple of accounts. So the key at the beginning is we just have to practice. Like I wish there was a better way. People always say like what's the secret? How did you do this? And honestly, there just is no secret. It was just practicing. It was going out, sucking, crying in my car. Why am I doing this? Going back out there, doing it again. Um, Tweaking it, getting better. It's a muscle. Like as an introvert that didn't even know how to introduce myself and get out of a conversation, I was like, I need basic social skills. How do I get into a conversation and how do I pull myself out without freaking out? So it's going in there, practicing, tweaking it, doing it again. Okay. If you had a crappy day where everybody told you no, okay, cry about it, do whatever you got to do, have a glass of wine, have a margarita, whatever it is you need to do, sleep on it and go back out there. The key is that you need to keep going back out there. For me, it was very hard. So I gave myself 5 flyers 2 days a week. And I was like, Jacky, you have to pass out these 5 flyers. This is like no ifs, ands, or buts, or else you can't go home. Um, and I would suck, but I would be like, hi, my name is Jacky. I just want to leave my information. And that's probably as much as I could do at the beginning. And now you practice. I'm a lot better. There's times when I come out and I'm just like, dude, what did I just say right now? Um, and again, don't let tech paralyze you. I know this is new to a lot of us. So just keep it simple. Valor, Clover. And some people are doing deja vu as beginners because I think that's what a lot of people got sent in your beginners kit. So stick to those 3, and that is it. Like, don't try to venture out as a beginner. Believe me, because it'll trip you up and yeah, you don't want to mess with your head. Prepare and plan. At the beginning, was not a very good planner. I would just wake, because I work from home. So I would just wake up and be like, where do I want to go today? And it was just such a waste of my time because I would drive around and I would think about it. And then by the time I would think about it, I'd get hungry and then I'd go eat and then I would never go prospect. So, think in yourself like from I can't also plan a whole week ahead. That's just not how my brain works, especially as an actor. I have to be flexible. My schedule changes a lot. Um, so I would just be like, okay, tomorrow I know that I'm going to go in that area that I drove by the other day that has like 10 businesses, or it's a little like commercial complex. I'm going over there tomorrow. Okay, great. Do I have my flyers? Do I have my business cards? And do I have like whatever my clothes ready that I'm gonna wear? So if you're not wearing your like cash swipe shirt, no biggie. Just look nice, comb your hair, smell good, brush your teeth, iron your shirt, and look good and go in professional. Like however that works for you. But really do if you guys are like type A planners, and there's people that go on Google and be like, what are the 10 pet groomers in my area. And then they'll go and they'll hit all those 10 pet groomers, or what are the auto repair shops in my area. And that's incredible. And if you guys are that like like if you guys are that good at it, kudos to you. We need to have a chat so you can school me on that. But for me, it was just I needed to start, okay, an area. And I remember it was like one block had like 20 businesses. And when I drove by one time, got my flyers, put them in my pouch, and I just walked. And on that one day, I ended up signing 3 accounts. And it was insane because, and one of them was just like, oh, my friend next door, she has like a little clothing shop and I know she needs it too. So just go over there. Yeah, I tell her that I sent you. And I was like, what just happened right now? So, and that hasn't happened again, and that's fine. So, yes, be prepared and plan, and then just go out there and do it. Like, you just have to go out there and do it. You just have to practice. You just have to keep going out there and learning it and going. And also, huge tip, you guys, if you are not part of, like, your chamber of commerce in your neighborhood, or, for me, my neighborhood chamber of commerce isn't great, so I like, 2 cities down, their chamber of commerce is, like, incredible. So you just go there and everybody talks about their business, and literally it's not awkward to be like, "What do you do? What do you do? What do you do?" And so now I'm the local merchant service person, and everybody just knows I do merchant services. They let us do a 30-second pitch. I did an ad in the newspaper and I got an account from that. So also try to think out of the box and how can you use your time a little bit more efficiently. So I stopped, what is it? Pounding the pavement, which is probably not a good idea because I have a goal before LA to get to 50 accounts, and I don't know if that's gonna happen. But I've really been focusing on networking and going to events and getting to know people. And I went to a women's event the other night, Friday night, and I was like, "What the heck am I doing out on Friday night?" And I ended up getting connected with the lady that has, what is it? A nonprofit that gives small businesses services, connects them to services. So she's like, "You're perfect. I would love to connect you with all these small businesses." And I was just like, all I had to do was go out on a Friday night, guys. So start to think out of the box, but pound the pavement. So crucial to learn this. Like, it's so crucial to learn this because you're just gonna learn so much from it. And I'm like, I'm grateful that I did it, but I don't want to do that anymore because it's so hard. But I'm grateful that I did it. So, okay, let me see. Questions. Do you do one-on-one coaching? I live in LA. I've been asked a couple of times, so maybe we can chat separately. I started to do it. I actually have a mentee under me that's like killing it when because I used to take students and teach them the the business as well, but I stopped doing that. But I've been asked a lot about one-on-one coaching, so we can talk about that after, Garvin, if you want to reach out. Did a lot of my accounts come from prospecting or leads from DFY ads? So no, all of these guys were freaking pounding the pavement. Okay, like probably about 28 of my accounts were pounding the pavement. One was my family, or maybe two were my family, maybe one was a friend, but I maybe 3 are referrals. So no, these are just straight up going in businesses, which is insane because it's crazy. Today I signed up my first account from my done for you ads, like officially. I have 2 applications going that, we're going back and forth, but today officially, and I posted it on my Instagram and I went in and I did my first official install for my first done for you ads. And I've been doing it maybe 3 weeks. I feel like my ads have been running. So, um, how do you find chambers in your area? Google it. Like whatever city you're in, Los Angeles chambers of commerce, your little town might have one. Go on their Facebook page, go on their website. If they have an Instagram, if they're a smaller one, like where they don't have even a website or anything like that, I would be like, okay, skip it. What's the nearest city that's a big city? And then look there, because the bigger ones, have more resources, and they have like, so if they have better websites, better events like coffees, breakfasts, at noon. One that I have is like networking at noon, and then they do events in the evening. So just try to go to as many of those as you can. Coaching, Coach Nadia, my fave. Yes, straight hustling. Yes, Vic, and he knows this. It's a straight freaking hustle, you guys. But this works. It's insane and it's hard and it's crazy, but it works because I just got paid today and I was like, how do I get to do like how did I get to do this? How did this find me? I did not have this in my bingo card 2 years ago that I was going to be in merchant services, and now that I am, there's so much about it that I love, getting to know people, meeting people, business owners. It's just insane. And it's such a beautiful world out there, especially like if you're really out there to help and give good service and make connections and partner with these businesses, and you're not just trying to go out there and make a buck. Like this is pretty cool what we get to do. So um let me see. Questions. Hold on. uh 99% of my prospects shared they won't leave Square due to the loans. Yes. Um, so I had a nail salon. She had a loan with Square, but she was tired of paying the fees. So what we did was she kept Square for her booking, online booking, and I just put a separate terminal on the side that charges the 4%. So I told her, because you could start saving money. Let's start saving you money so that you could pay off this loan. And not everybody's going to want to do that. There's some, but offer it. You can just be like, yeah, keep Square, and maybe like 2 days you use Square. I don't know how Square's rules are, like how many days you have to use it or whatever. But she has my Clover Flex, and she has her Square terminal until she pays off her loan. And then when she pays off her loan, she's going to shut that down, and then we're going to go completely to Clover. So there's options, guys. Like, don't get super discouraged. Or if somebody's like, ask them how, like, do you still owe a lot? Like, can you pay it off? And that way you could start saving money right away, because the money that you're going to save in fees, you can pay off that loan. So, kind of be creative and have a convo about it, because it's happened to me. I have two people with loans that also have a terminal. You're welcome, Anna. I'm just super grateful that you guys are here listening to my advice. Other local ads we can post are Nextdoor, and one local we have called The Patch. Yes, you guys use all of the resources. Like social media is insane. All these apps. Somebody got an account off Facebook Marketplace. Like they put an ad up in Facebook Marketplace that said like free equipment, blah, blah, blah. She got a bar out of it. So if you are savvy and you're very creative that way, do all the things. I put it, my neighborhood is very sleepy. So I put an ad in the newspaper, and it was the cutest thing because this like 80-year-old lady was like, I saw your ad in the paper. And they're part of like they do like the local vintage, local thrift shop. She's like, and I just, I saw your ad, and I, whatever, sign them up, guys. So whatever works for you, do it. This is your business. Like you're the CEO of this business. So however you feel, and whatever means you have to invest in it, um, do it. Like do it, because this is a long game. This isn't about like just like a one and done. I'm going to sign up. And if you want it to be one and done, great. You want to sign up 5 people and then whatever. This is your business. You can run it however you want. How soon do we get our residuals once we sign up an account? 90 days. So sign them up. You're not going to get it next month. You're going to get it the month after. It takes 90 days for like the machine to start rolling. But when you get it, it's amazing. Um, I've had that same response. I've had lots of merchants tell me, "No way you are going to beat my rate." Yeah. And I'm just like, "Yeah, I don't know unless I see a statement. Like let's talk. Let's sit down." And I'm going to be honest, there's some where I have given them a very low rate. And on one occasion I was like, um that's fine. He had 2 locations, and I'm like, "That's fine. I'll give you a really low rate on this location, but your other location, I want 4%. I want the cash discount 4% on that one. But I'll give you the dirt cheap rate here, but we're doing both. And he was like, okay, deal. Because he just didn't want to pay a lot on this one because the neighborhood, they wouldn't want to pay the fees. He's already tried it, blah, 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 all the things. And I was like, that's great. I'll drop it, bro, like dirt cheap, but I'm getting that other account. So yes, you're gonna hear that. You're gonna hear that. And it's like, yeah, you know what? I might not be able to, but I might be able to. So let's chat. Like, let's bring out the statements and let's talk, you know? Absolutely. Most merchants don't know their rate. Guys, my most favorite story, and I know we're running out of time, and I was gonna say we were gonna do somebody. If anybody wants to, what is it? Role play, raise your hand, and then I'll pick you and I'll put you on right now. Um, what was I gonna say? My chiropractor. I walked in, she had this like old dinosaur of a terminal, and I was just like, I didn't even like pitch it. I'm just like, Dr. Darling, how long have you been with them? She's like, oh, honey, like 15 years. And like, oh, and I was like, I need to see your statement because I bet you there's some good stuff in there. And she was like, are you kidding me? And I was like, yeah. I'm like, 15 years and she was paying 12%. 12%. Like, I was just like, "You are legit getting robbed. This is highway robbery. I don't know how this is allowed." So, yes, a lot of merchants don't know what they're paying. So, if they're like, "You can't beat my rate, blah, blah, blah." Yeah, okay, well, I might be able to. Like, let's sit down, let's look at the statement because I want to help you. If you have a good rate, I've walked away from people that I'm like, "If you have a good rate and I see everything's, like, legit, like, good for you. I'm here to advise you and I'm here to help you save your profits. But if you're happy, customer service, everything's great, and you have a good rate, here's my card. If you ever need anything, if you ever know anybody, let me know. And I would love to help, you know? So, all right, let's do it. Alex. Dun, dun. Ooh, coach, you were going to pick somebody. That's ruthless. What if you give them a free 90-day trial, but offer to buy the terminal? Do we get a refund if they want out? No. You can give them a free trial. Um, if they want out, if you paid for it, that terminal is yours. Just make sure to get it back because you can use it on the next on your next merchant. If Paybotics gave it to you for free, then you have to return it back to Paybotics. But yeah, you can offer them 90 days trial, but you don't get a refund. Okay, let's do it. Let's go, Alex. So I am going to be the business owner, and you walk in, and you're going to put me to the test too, because you know. So where are you walking into, or what are you? Let's say you're walking into. Do you have any accounts, by the way? Oh wait, you're on mute. Hold on, hold on. Dun, dun. Nope, I just muted you. I think you're on mute on your end.
Can you hear me now?
There
No?
you go.
Oh, perfect. Awesome.
Okay, great.
Um, I'm not a salesman by nature at all.
Me neither.
But so far I've reached out to a bed liner or a truck bed liner company that's I gave them a sales proposal. They were gonna take a look at it, so I plan on following up next week, and then
Yep.
where I get my car detailed, it's a family or she's a personal friend, but her family owns that business, and um, I'm waiting to hear back from her dad to see if we can try to set something up. And then
Okay.
tomorrow, I'm meeting a local restaurant out here in my area. So that's why I
Okay.
was curious about the
Yeah.
whole Clover thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely. Do you know who you're meeting at the restaurant tomorrow, or are you just going in cold?
No, so I have it's one of the leads
Okay, great.
that for when I signed up, one of the 3 leads that they generate for you.
Okay.
So tomorrow I'm meeting the manager or maybe the
Okay.
owner. We'll see.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, sweet. Yeah, then, you're walking in.
cool. Any business?
Yeah, your restaurant for tomorrow. Let's practice your restaurant.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Um, excuse me. I just had the best sandwich in my life. I've seen your business around here, never really taken a look to really come in. I'm super happy that I did today. Are you the owner by chance?
I'm not, but is there something that I can help you with?
Yeah, so I wanted to talk to the owner first because I want to tell them how good their food is. And second, I'm also in the merchant services business. I want to help save money for the owner. This is I know small business nowadays in this economy, and ever since COVID, inflation's going up. It's harder to maintain businesses, especially out in the food industry, right? It's a competitive business, and every little cent counts in a business like this. And that's what I do for a living. I come out, meet the owners, and see what I can do to help them save money, primarily in processing fees for credit card machines.
Absolutely. Okay. Can I give you input now? Because
Yeah,
I don't want
absolutely.
okay, so remember we're going into a business that's probably busy and they don't have a lot of time. So I'm like,
Mhm,
that information was great and how can we like compact it? You know what I mean?
mhm,
Because so now, especially for your meeting tomorrow, um that information that you gave the person at the desk, that's the information that you wanna give the person making the decisions. Do you know what I
mhm,
mean? So you walk in like, "Hey, my name is Alex, like, I've been here a couple of times. I love your guys' food. Is this your restaurant by any chance?" And it's like, "Well, no, I would just work here." "Okay, great. When is a better time to come back when the owner is here? Like, I'm a local merchant, I'm a local, what is it? What are we, you guys? Hold on, I drew a blank. I'm in merchant services. I am local. I do merchant services in the area, and I just wanted to introduce myself. So, yes, exactly. This is a lead that you already have. So when you walk in, you go in and you ask for the person's name. "Hey, my name
mhm,
is Alex. I have an appointment with such and such. Are they here? Okay. Oh, well, how can I help you? Oh, yeah. We set up an appointment." And when you sit down is when you give all of that juicy information.
mhm,
I want to be able to, I can eliminate your fees. I can lower your processing fees if you're paying a lot. And that's when you start asking all the questions that we talked about. But
mhm,
at the beginning, if you walk in and you give, like, the person at, like, the barista, all of that information, like, they just they don't
go
even
ahead.
you know what I
Yeah,
mean? So it's just you walk in confident with a smile, "Hi, like, my name is Alex. Are you the business owner? I'm local. I'm just, came to, introduce myself." And then if it's the owner, "Great, do you have a minute to talk?"
mhm,
So, the pitch is great, but save that for when you're actually in front of the person that's making the decisions?
mhm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So for tomorrow, it's gonna be a little different because you already have the appointment. So you're gonna walk in, ask for the owner, and probably the very first question I would ask or I would tell them is like, "Yeah, you know what? I'm local to the area. I advise businesses to see if I can help them lower their fees and save money, keep more of their profits." Something just like simple like that. It's like, "Did you have questions or what are you interested in switching?" Or, but also, guys, let's keep it kind of real right now. The owner might not be there. Um, it might not go as planned. They might tell you, "I don't remember having an appointment. I don't," and this is just I just want you guys to be, prepared if that happens to not be crushed because it has happened where the owners, they're busy, they forget, blah, blah, blah. Don't take it personal. Just be like, "Okay, great. When is a better time to come back? Because I know we had an appointment." "Oh, and then that's when you go back into, like, try to call them and all the things. But, yeah, I would say it was good, the information is good, but just keep it concise. Keep it nice
Mhm,
and packaged tightly. You know what I mean? Because
mhm,
we don't wanna lose them. We don't wanna, like, "Oh gosh, another person telling me," you know? Does that make sense?
mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any other questions about tomorrow? Since you had the courage to
No, I think it was a lot of it you answered in your slides. It's a lot of, like I already kind of looked through their images on, like, Yelp or, like, Google reviews, and I saw that they currently have, like, it looked like a Clover Mini, and,
Perfect.
when you go into a restaurant, they have, I guess, like, the order here stand.
Yeah.
uh,
Oh, the kiosk. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the kiosk pretty much. So that's why I wanted to know more about, like, the restaurant growth fees and all that kind of stuff.
Yes, yes. Definitely
So
go on and do some research on Clover.
yeah, or another question, not
Yeah.
so much going into, like, sales or anything like that, but so I'm out here in the Bay Area in California. Say when you do sign a merchant, what do you do to make cash discounting compliant in California? Because I know you have to
Yes.
post, like, signs at the
Correct,
entrance, at the
correct.
POS system.
Yes. So, we have to do the true cash discount where, they're gonna raise their prices 4%, and then the signage, which you get, from Paybotics when you get your terminal, and it says, if you pay in cash, you get a 4% discount.
Mhm,
So, with that being said no? Oh, we don't do that anymore? Okay, got it. Talk to me, coach. Um, so yes, so we do the true cash discount where you get a discount if you pay in cash. But with that being said, guys, a lot of people don't do that. They charge the 4%, but I just make sure to disclose that this is California compliant. But a lot of people are like, I don't care. I have a lot of businesses that just charge the 4%. And like I tell them, there is no credit card police out there. But I can't guarantee that somebody won't come in and get pissed and report you. So it's on you, but I also do have the ones that raise their prices 4%. And there's an
mhm,
app on Clover that will raise the price for them. Like,
mhm,
so they don't have to go in there and do it manually. So just yeah, just disclose that, You raise your prices 4%, this is your credit card price, but if you pay in cash, you get a discount.
got it.
Yeah. All right, guys, let me see if there's any more questions. Uh, oh yeah, first visit, meet and greet for sure. And yes, it's happened where it happened to me plenty of times when the owner's not there, and when you just go again and you call them and you are persistent because that's what we have to do. We're not going to get the account on the first try. Um, Yeah, yeah, you're gonna get stuck at the beginning on how to approach them. So you just keep going and you keep sucking and then you get better. But I think we've covered a couple of scenarios already of how just walking casually at the beginning and get those words out and start getting used to it just being part of your vocabulary. If they already have a Clover, do you just keep the same device? No, we cannot reprogram Clover. They're tricky little suckers, and if they have a Clover, we have to put them into a new Clover. Yeah, that's just the name of the game. Oh, that's what you were saying no to. Okay. Integrate it. You can integrate it. I don't know about that if you can integrate it. I just know that we can't reprogram Paybotics cannot reprogram a Clover. Um, the owner didn't show up for a meeting. Yep, that's happened. Oh, yes, disregard that, Carmela. Yeah, we don't integrate. One owner of a kebab place from DFY ads went to the back to let him know I was there to meet, and she said, I am sorry, he left out the back door. Leave your card. Yes. Welcome to the world of merchant services, guys. So that's just what it is. And so you leave your card and you call them, maybe you reach out to them, you email them, you text them, and maybe you'll go back. But I've had a couple of my DFY ads that when I call the guy, he just hangs up on me. So I'm just like, okay, goodbye. And we move on. So we can't take any of that personal. It hurts. Rejection sucks. I'm an actor. I get rejected all the time, but this is different because it's face to face and it just gets us, and that's normal. We are human. We are not robots. But what differentiates us is that we're going to get up and we're going to do it again and we're going to get stronger and we're going to get better and then we're going to freaking kill it. So if it's a food restaurant, become a regular customer, the owner will get familiar with you. Yes. Yes, there's, a restaurant that I go to locally, the guy has toast, he doesn't accept cash, but he knows what I do, and I go in there and I eat, and we chat about other things, and we chat about other things, and then one day he was just like, "Can you integrate with this?" And I was like, "No, I can't," but, so you go in there, this is who you are, this is what you do, you're the merchant services person, and people are gonna get to know you for who you for that, and then they're going to start calling you and you're going to get referrals as time goes on and people in your area know that that is what you do and that you're an amazing person and that you give great customer service and you're not trying to rip anybody off and you're just trying to do good by your community and your neighbors and all the good things. And that does come back, guys. I am living proof of just getting connected into your community, your businesses in the area, and it works, guys. It works. So, with that being said, I kept you guys 8 minutes over. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. Um, if you guys have any other questions, like Alex, tomorrow you're going on your, for your lead, get on the school community, you guys, and ask questions in the community. There's so many of us that are jumping in there, answering questions, making sure you guys don't feel like, left alone in certain scenarios, or you feel like I don't have the answers. Granted, go through your modules, okay? Don't be asking us questions that you guys have in your modules and that you're too lazy to Google. Like, I am not Google for you, okay? Get out there, do the research instead of scrolling on your phone on Instagram. Go out, do research, and get to know what this industry that we're in. So don't waste my time asking me something that I'm just gonna be like, bro, Google that, okay? But yes, we're here for you guys, and we want to see you win, and it's so incredible. Yes, Coach La Google, you guys, we all know it. Do it. But yes, you can contact me. On school, like you can message me separately or my Instagram, Jacky Fig or Merchant Social, and I'll answer there. But you guys, this is so great. And we'll see you guys soon. Go out there and kill it. All right. We'll talk soon, guys. Goodbye.